Shalom, shalom. Welcome everyone to another Shabbat night talk. My name is Chief Uziel Lewy. I'm one of the teachers of congregation. CHOKMAH BINAH. That is the house of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We thank the Most High King of the universe for all things and everything. Food, clothing, and shelter. I thank the Most High God for my life, the life of Kobe Yisrael scattered in the four corners of the earth, the life of all of you that are tuning in with us on YouTube and also on Facebook Live, hoping and praying that the Creator of heaven and earth will bless each and every one of you, that He'll continue to be with you and protect you and guide you, that He will continue to bless your thoughts and all the things that you desire in righteousness, that the Creator will continue to be with you in your lives and the lives of your families, your loved ones, those who might be going through some type of sickness, who have any type of malady. Pray for me. Just getting over like a little flu or something. I'm a little bit stuffy. I guess you can hear it in my voice. Little runny nose. So we thank the Most High God for this day. I thank the Most High God to be able to feel better than what I was feeling the last couple of days. And I hope that the Most High would continue to alleviate all my aches and pains and all the things that I go through. And that God will continue to be with me and guide me and protect me. To the entire house of Yisrael, I bid to y'all and to my ancient forefathers, Shabbat Shalom Aleichem. That simply put means peace be to you all. Hallelujah. We thank the Creator of heaven and earth for this day, the holy Shabbat day. We thank the Creator of heaven and earth for all that He does for us in our lives. And in spite of everything that's going on around us and all the things that are going on within the nation, Shabbat Shalom, Yemima. Good to see you, sister. Shabbat Shalom to everyone else in the room. John Isaacs, C. Paul. Who else? Shabbat Shalom, Tamar. And Miss Jean Rutledge, if she's listening. Ebony Queen, Shabbat Shalom. Delilah Miller, Shabbat Shalom. Sarah, Shabbat Shalom. Ima Naomi, Shabbat Shalom. Naja Naya, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Lena Bless Dunn, Shabbat Shalom to you. Shabbat Shalom to everyone in the room. I thank the Most High God for all of your lives. She said hi. Okay, tell her I said hi. Tamid Kirk Todd, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to everyone that's joining us today. Shabbat Shalom to everyone on YouTube. Y'all know I'm always there with all of y'all. Thanking the Creator for life, because it's so important. We can't take life for granted, you know. Even through all the travails and everything we go through, it says a live dog is better than a dead lion. Because no matter how much strength and power a lion exudes, a live dog is much better than that lion when it's dead. So I thank God. I definitely thank the Creator for my life, the life of all the ones that I love. Shabbat Shalom Zipporah Levy, Ima Havaret, More Tavel, Imo Kasquia, Marsha Yisrael, our usual followers, Joseph Clemens, Ima Deborah B, and Ashria Levy. Shabbat Shalom to all you that are joining us on YouTube. I thank each and every one of you for being here with us tonight. And I pray that the Creator continue to be with each and every one of you on this holy Shabbat day. There was something else I had to address, something that I wanted to talk about, but it flees me at this moment. So since I can't remember that, I'll just continue with giving glory to the Creator. And but I'm happy to see all of you that are on. Malakaya, Dabaryam, Ban Yasharala. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Happy Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Tia Williams, Shabbat Shalom. Letitia loves to cuddle. Stewart, Shabbat Shalom, sister. And to everybody else out there that I might not be able to see, Shabbat Shalom to you. All right, so let me see here. I'm looking for a feature. Just give me a second. Damon Gray, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to everyone out there. And to everyone that might be going through a little tough time, or might be going through a little hardship, a little, we all go through hard times, especially now. Things are getting a little bit tougher, especially if you live here in New York City. With the way it is with for just living. Most High is really bringing us all back together. The price of rent has become ridiculous here in New York City, to the point where a one-bedroom apartment for a poor person is out of reach. And if you got to become roommates, you have to, get together with your brothers and sisters, and God is going to bring us together one way or the other. This country has taught us to be separate, teach us that when the kids get older, they go away to school, then they go make their lives in another state, and then the parents get old, then you're not used to being with your parents because you started your own life, and you're not there with your parents, caring for them and seeing them age to have that love and that compassion for them as they get old, because you weren't there to help them and go through whatever they went through. So what we end up doing is you end up putting them in nursing homes because you lost that care and that loving for them, because you've been away from them for 25 years. After you graduated from school, you made your life whatever, where if you were living in New York City and you went to school in Virginia, most of the times that's where you're going to make your life. So these are all the things that are happening to us, but God is beginning to force us to come back together, whether we like it or not. So, okay, I'll do that maybe on Yom Rishon, which is Sunday. Siwan Ruach. So those are all the things that we have to think about. So God is making us come back together, brother with brother, sister with sister, where we have to learn how to deal with each other. You should never consider putting your parents in a nursing home. Parents took care of us, so it's our duty to take care of them. Now, I'm not here to judge you if this is where your parents is at, but you just have to think about the logic of that. Nursing homes is like factories for elders to go die. You know, they supposed to be around their grandchildren. You're supposed to go through whatever you have to go through with them because they went through with it with you when you was getting into all types of stuff. When they was worried about you crawling and falling or walking and falling and busting your head. Shabbat Shalom Adon Moshe Yisrael. So these are things we have to keep in mind. Yah is bringing us back together. Like I was talking about New York City. Now families, we're going to have to begin to be more economical and learn how to be with each other, be closer with each other. Learn how to come together in order to be able to overcome the problems of homelessness and all these things. It's coming to that. I already see it. I see what Yah is doing. Some of us is just still trying to fight for one thing or another, but Yah is forcing us to one direction. And that's the direction he wants us to take. So blessed be the Creator. I thank the Creator for this time. I thank the Creator for this holy season, the Shabbat day, which invigorates us, which charges our batteries, which gives us a time to reflect and to look back upon the week, to look back upon the things that have happened. This is the time where we're supposed to clear our minds. Blood pressure is supposed to come down, supposed to be working on ourselves. Here's some good lessons. Get into your prayer, your meditation of Torah. The Shabbat day or the beam of the Mizbeach is never supposed to be a place where we come to destroy people. The Mizbeach is never supposed to be the place where we come to talk about each other, and we're all learning. We're all learning. You know, I came from doing stuff like that. But we all have to learn to care for one another and to care for each other. Shabbat Shalom, Masara and Yair Emet. So these are the things that we have to do. And I've seen many times with parents who might not live this way of life, but come to accept it, who might have not accepted it when you were younger, but come to accept it, get older, because what happens is, if you sincerely live this, if you sincerely walk in this path of righteousness, if you sincerely take to Torah and do the things that are commanded by Yah for us to do in Torah, then all they could see is the godliness in you. They look past all the other stuff. You don't believe in Jesus anymore. You don't, because all they could see in you, because you see, Torah teaches us to care for our parents, to honor our parents. So, you know, that word honor encompasses a lot of things: respect, fear, dedication, just a lot of things. So as godly people and walking in the path that Yah has already designated for us, where he tells us to honor, respect our fathers and our mothers, then that doesn't allow us to put our parents in a situation where they could be harmed or anything come upon them that will will set them off in a course where they would speedily get out of here. Most elders that go to nursing homes die because of a heartbroken, natural causes they call it, but they're heartbroken. They're heartbroken because they've been abandoned. And those are things that we just have to think about. So that's why we have to become a closer knit community. We have to get community so that way we could take care of our elders, take care of our parents, take care of those that we love. Now I know you have some situations out there like, parents that get the Alzheimer's or they get the dementia, where they begin to not remember. Sometimes they forget their families, and that's tough. That's tough in itself. But we have to find a way, if we come together, to try to come together as a unit, as a family, in order for us to be able to develop some type of camaraderie and be able to develop that type of love to where we don't abandon our elders and we forget about them. Elders still want to have fun. We got some elders in our congregation that whenever we have a party or anything like that, Ima Sarah, Ima Muna, they dance. I dance with them. I take them out to dance because they still want to cut a rug. They still want to take a drinky drink when they get a chance. And when they got the youth and they got the young people around them, it gives them life. It gives them something to live for. Oh man, I want to see this young lady right here get old. I'm going to live for that, or I'm going to live for my grandchildren because you got your family around you, so you live. You live. So those are things that we think about, and that we do. So I thank the Most High God for all of you. These are things that sometimes we don't think about, but they have to be spoken about because sometimes we don't. We follow society, but society don't guide us in the right way. Praise Yah. And for people that come from like the South, or people that come from like islands, mostly in the cities is where you find people getting put in nursing homes. But people that come from the South or from the islands, they usually live on land, and they tough it out. That's the way a lot of them were brought up. And some city dwellers do it too, but it's kind of the way that they put it. I'm not discussing the who is the serpent in the garden tonight. We just getting it. That lesson. If you want to catch him, Cam in the way, you last week lesson. You could go to our lessons from last week. The morning service, Shabbat morning service for today's the 21st, so last week was the 14th. You could catch it there, and you could see who our brother Rabbi Chief Benjamin broke down that whole thing, so you could check it out from there. So we thank the Creator for all things and everything. Once again, I thank the Most High God for all of you. That was in my heart. For some reason, I felt like getting that out. For some reason. That's why we got to have a lot of kids. I know I'm talking about financial stuff, and then I'm talking about we got to have a lot of kids. But it makes sense now why our forefathers had a lot of children. And why there was a lifestyle of such, because children meant wealth. And then you have people that were in the midst that took care of those that were in front of them. And then the elders had someone to teach. So the elders always had a job. You understand what I'm saying? The elders always had a lot of jobs. You know, only in this society have they taught us to stop having children. You're having too much. You need to tie your tubes. You need to take some contraceptives. You need to take some birth control pills. You know, I was reading a story on the internet from a Jewish newspaper that they admitted themselves, a Jewish newspaper called Haaretz, right? That means the land. I believe Haaretz, the land. When the Ethiopian women were coming, when the Ethiopian women will come into the clinics of Israel, that they will give them a birth control shot. And the reason why they were doing this, now they didn't point that out, but the reason why they were doing that is because the Ethiopian people would have babies, they will populate, and because those people that are over in the land, those Europeans that are over in the land, they didn't want the Ethiopian people to overpopulate the land and become more than them. What does that sound like? Doesn't it sound like Pharaoh? Doesn't it sound like Pharaoh and the children of Israel, to where Pharaoh began to murder the sons in the nation of Israel? So these are things that we have to, you know, God told us be fruitful and multiply. Oh, thank you, Ima Shira. I said Sarah, Ima Shira, for that. I will continue to try my best to do the interviews that I could do. I'm gonna start interviewing some younger people now. I think that's interesting. I know some of y'all don't want to hear from younger people, but there's some very interesting young people out there, professionals, and I think that'll be a good influence. Also, I want everyone to keep this in mind. I want to do this series, right? And for those of you who are interested, you know how to get in contact with me. I want to do this series for Black History Month. So now listen to me, because they always control the narrative when it comes to Black History Month, right? So, you know, they give us Martin Luther King. They give us the version of Martin Luther King they want to give us. They throw a little bit of Malcolm X in there, but they don't give you, you know, the real Malcolm X, because they wouldn't be able to give you the real Malcolm X, because Malcolm X spoke against this country heavily. They give you a little, what do they give you? Oh, Madam C.J. Walker. Now, I don't know how some of y'all feel about Madam C.J. Walker, but to me, Madam C.J. Walker just perpetuated the same self-hatred that some people perpetuate today by inventing a straightening comb and straightening products and stuff and bleaching creams and stuff like that. So they put her as a pioneer, but to me, she wasn't a pioneer. She just followed in the footsteps of people who tried to eliminate our beauty. But maybe some of you might differ, you know. George Washington Carver certainly was a genius with everything that he got to do with a peanut. But there's so much history out there that we don't know of, that we are blind about, and that we don't know about. Shabbat Shalom, hey, my brother Dawi, what's going on? Truck Turner. Shabbat Shalom, my brother. Good to see you. Good to see you in the room, in the chat. So this is what I want to do. I want to get 28 people. Now, I could get more than 28. Now, if I get like 50 videos, then I'll put up like 2 videos in one day. But I want to get videos from people like 10 to 15 minutes explaining something in quote unquote Black history. It could be either here in the Caribbean, so any part of the captivity that we've done, right? That we might not know of. history that we might not know, or like I said, even in the islands, anywhere. You know what I mean? Brazil, just some history. Do a video. If you live in New York City, let me know if you're interested. I'll come and video you. And then we'll do a little, and then for the 28 days in February that they call Black History Month, what I'll begin to do is I will put all these things up there day by day so that we can learn some real Black history, not the narrative that they want to control for us. Don't y'all think that's a good idea? If you think it's a good idea, give me some thumbs ups, give me some hearts, give me something to acknowledge that is a good idea. So anyone who's interested, please contact me. Please let me know. I really want to do this. So now, this is what's happening. November 1st, I'll be leaving to go to Panama for 2 weeks. I'm going to try to do I'm going to try to do a documentary down there about our people, Black people, and the situation with our people down there. Our people is in a lot of need down there. So I'm going to try to bring you some images back of what's going on down there, like in the ghettos and in the slums of Panama where our people are located. So I'll be going down there from November 1st to November 15th. All right, so that's for everyone. If I have good internet service, I would. I've been going to Panama for the last, this is going to be, let me see, 14, 15, 16. This is going to be 4 years in a row, I believe. But prior to that, I wasn't going there at all. I only went back there like in 2002, and I came here in 1986. So in my adulthood, as I've got older, is when I began to go, because, you know, you begin to miss your family, and I met some new relatives, and you know how that goes when you got a father that's a Rolling Stone. You meet new siblings all the time, so that kind of stuff. You know what happened? It's a getaway. It's a vacation. And I get to connect with family because I have a larger family than what I really knew. And what happened is, although I got my younger brother here, though I grew up with from the same mother, and my girl cousins, but there's an entry to meeting, you know, your other relatives, you know, your other brothers and sisters that you might have never met, and there's so many things to catch up with, and sometimes a week or two is not enough to get to know the personalities and all the things that's going on. So I'm sure some of you have gone through situations like that. So that's really what goes on with me when I go to Panama. And it's a tropical environment. It's nice. I get to relax. When I go to Panama, I actually get to sleep past 5 hours and 6 hours. You know, my brother treats me like a king. I go there and do nothing. He drives me around. You know, we enjoy each other's company. We get to joke, laugh, catch up on years that we haven't known each other. And then come to find out we got the same type of personality because we come from the same father. So, so I love my family. I'm getting to know them, and that kind of helps me out. So there goes. I know sometimes I over-explain things, but that's what's happening. That's why I go back to Panama. But it's a nice place to retire, but I still got y'all here. So I don't know. The thing is, when I go down there, if my brother's internet is good enough, then I'll be coming to you live. If it's not good enough, then you know we're not going to have anything for 2 weeks. Unless my son, decides that he wants to come on and he wants to teach. Now, that's a possibility also that my might want to come on and teach. But I don't know if he's really going to do that. And I hope that he hears me. He just stepped into the room with a smile on his face.
Why?
So that's my Ozzy. Maybe he'll do something for y'all. Or if not, what I'll do is, this is what I'll do. I'll leave some videos in reserve and let him stream them. Some stuff that you never seen before. And then for the 2 weeks. But if not, then I'll just, if possible for me to do it, stream through his internet, then I'll just go that way. It'll be good to do that. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Beautiful Shabbat day. Thank you the Most High God for this day. All right, so I have a thing here. After I went through my whole spiel, my whole diatribe took 30 minutes. So for the last few months or past year, every now and then, I'm sure some of you have seen it. People come on our chat, messianics. It is because it's the way that they've been taught. They come in our chat, they see me with a kippah on, or they see us when we're teaching during the Shabbat day with our turbans on or whatever. And they come on and they say, you know, every man who prays or prophesies with his head covered, it's an abomination, a curse, or whatever. Right? You shouldn't have your head covered when you're prophesying or when you're teaching. It's an abomination, you know. So where do they get this from? So now, the Apostle Paul, right? Paul wrote the book of Corinthians. This quote is found in the book of Corinthians. Let us go there. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 4. First Corinthians 11, verse 4. Now I thought that there was this thing here, this feature. There was this new feature here that I don't see anymore. There was a new feature here where I could share the screen so you could read along with me, but I don't see the feature anymore. There was a screen sharing feature. Where is it? Do I got to go into the settings? All right. Give me 1 second here, people. Trying to find it here. It was like a screen sharing feature, but I don't see it. All right, so let's go there. The book of 1 Corinthians. So, like I said, every now and then you get some brothers. I've heard even people tell me like I'm going to die because I got my head covered. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff, but chapter 11. Let me get there. Start from the beginning. So this is the Apostle Paul. The book of Corinthians is letters of correction, I believe, by the Apostle Paul to the people in Corinth, right? That's why it's called Corinthians. So now it says, be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. It's Paul talking. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ. Right? So Paul is saying the head of every man, meaning the leader or the head, you know, of every man is Christ, Jesus. And the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Christ is God. Right? So the head of the woman is the man. So the woman should follow her man. The man should follow Christ, and the head of Christ is God. Just bear with me. I know some of you are saying confusing because I thought Christ and God were one and the same, but this is how this book goes sometimes. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. So this is what they use. We dishonor our head. And our head being Christ, we're dishonoring Christ. We have our heads covered. Right? But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one, as if she were shaven. So the woman got to have her head covered, but man dishonoreth his head if he has his head covered. So channel with the, you know, on the stream with the vitriol and the, you know, indignation because they see us with kippahs on or they see us with turbans on. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God, but the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman is of man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. For as much as woman is of man, even so is the man also by woman, but all things of God. So basically, we concentrating on prophesying, having his head covered, the sign of his head. So when they come on, they say, I'm dishonoring my head because I got a kippah on or a turban on. I shouldn't be doing that because my head is Christ. And if I'm dishonoring my head, I'm dishonoring Christ. And Christ and the head of Christ is God. So so in reality, I'm dishonoring Christ and I'm dishonoring God. Right? So now, if we can, I want us to go into the book of Exodus, chapter 28, verse 4. Exodus 28, 4. Now, mind you, the first thing I'm going to say is that nowhere in Torah does it say that this is against Torah. That a person having their head covered as they're teaching, praying, a prayer is a blessing. It's you know, one of the synonyms for blessing. And I'm going to go through that the priest did. Prophesying is speaking of things to come. And many of us could speak in a prophetic way about certain actions that people take and what will be the reaction for those certain actions that people take. So that will be a manner of prophesying, because when you know the outcome of something, you're prophesying what's going to happen. You know, so you keep going out there selling them drugs, you keep going out there doing this, you're either going to end up in jail or you're going to end up dead. And basically you prophesied something, and you said something. Might have caused a curse on someone, but basically it's things that we know the results of. when we take certain actions. So look at let us go back to the book of when I said Exodus 28 verse 4 and what it reads there. It says here, let's start from verse 1. And bring thou near unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him, for among the children of Israel, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aharon, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Itamar, Aaron's sons. Thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for splendor and for beauty. So God commanded Moses to make holy garments for Aaron his brother and for his children, for splendor and for beauty. So we're going to look good before God when we come and do service before God. So these holy men that was set aside for the service of Yah, these men are going to be decked out and they're going to look good when they offering up and when they doing service before the Most High God, except for splendor and for beauty. It says, verse 3, and thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they make Aaron's garments to sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. So once you make the holy garments for Aaron, it's going to sanctify him, because nobody is going to quite be looking like him, right? With all the gold and the breastplates and all that. Not necessarily robes and things like that, because they know what a robe looked like. You know, most of the people back then wore robes. Most of the people back then covered their heads from the elements and stuff like that. You had to cover your head. Most people in the East, most of the people back then, you know, they wore certain things to cover their heads, to cover their bodies against the elements and so forth. Verse 4, and these are the garments which they shall make. Again, to describe the garments that you shall make for Aaron. These are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate and an ephod, and a robe and a tunic of shekel work, a mitre and a girdle. They shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. So now, when we talk about a mitre is a turban. That's what a mitre is. That's what a mitre is. A mitre is a turban. Book of Exodus 39. Exodus 39, verse 28. It reads, all right. And the mitre of fine linen, and the goodly head ties of fine linen, and the linen breeches of fine twined linen of blue and purple and scarlet, the work of the weaver in colors, as Yahweh commanded Moses. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it a writing like the engravings of the signet, holy to Yahweh. And they tied upon it a thread of blue to fasten upon the mitre above, as the Lord commanded Moses. Thus was finished all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting. The children of Israel did according to all that Yahweh commanded Moses, so did they. So now it spoke about the mitre, right? This is the garment for the priests. These are the vestments for the priest. The mitre, like I said, is a turban. And then it says, and the goodly head ties. Some book have it translated as bonnet. A bonnet, it's a soft brimless hat-like beret, especially as worn by men and boys in a particular country. But basically, You ever see what sometimes our brothers who are rosters, a big hat to fit all their dreads in there, and it's like that leather hat, you know, and it fits their head. That's the way a bonnet will look, right? So that was for the sons of Aaron. He wore the mitre, right? He wore the turban on his head. So now, this is the priest. This is the priest's sons. And this is part of their vesture and the vestment when they doing service before the creator of heaven and earth. Let us go to Leviticus 21:10 and see what the Most High God says about the priest there. Leviticus 21:10. It reads, and the priest that is the highest among his brethren, for whose head the anointing oil is poured, that is consecrated to put on the garments, shall not let the hair of his head go loose, nor rend his clothes. We read it in Hebrew. Where HaKohen, that's the high priest. Where HaKohen Hagadol, the highest priest, the great. Hagadol means great, the great one, right? The high priest. It says, Me'ekhayo, Asher Yuzak, Al Rosho, Shemen Hamishka, Umile et Yado, Lil Bosh, et Havgadim, et Rosho, Lo Yifra, Adayo Lo Yifron. Right? So he should not let his head go loose. Meaning that in the sight of the people, when he's doing his service, when he's doing his prayers, when he's doing everything, he can't show his head, right? This is the way that I was taught. He can't show his head. Certainly when he goes to bed, it's a point when he has to wash, when he has to bathe, when he has to do certain things. He doesn't, when he becomes unclean, he got to wash his head, his hair and stuff like that. So these are things that happen. So we already established that the priest, the high priest's sons, they have their heads covered. Especially when they're doing the service before the Most High God. It says here, if we go to the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verse 22. It says, verse 22, and Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aharon, unto his sons, saying, on this wise ye shall bless the children of, speak to Aaron. So when you bless the children of Yisrael, you shall bless them on this wise. And we say this every Shabbat. Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. So shall they put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. Right? So it says, Wadabiel Aharon we el benal lemor, Kotavar kuet bene Yisrael amor lahem. Yevareka Yahweh we yishmareka. Yair Yahweh penau eleka, we chuneka. Yisa Yahweh penau eleka. Wayasem leka shalom. Right? Wasamu et shemi al bnei Yisrael. Wa'ani avarkem. The priest, the high priest, and his sons bless the children of Israel with their heads covered. Now, a blessing is certainly a prayer over a people. That's what a blessing is. So where do they get? You see, this is the reason why you cannot put a New Testament over Torah, because Torah is forever. I know a lot of our brothers and sisters say that it was a new covenant and the new covenant had to be fulfilled. I believe that's Jeremiah chapter 31. The new covenant, the new covenant, the new covenant, just God said that we no longer will have to teach each other Torah, that he would put it in our inward parts, but it didn't mean that we didn't have to do Torah anymore. We still have to do Torah. When the priest says the blessing over the people and he extends his arms, his head is covered. So how can it be an abomination or curse or disrespect to have your head covered when you're praying or when you're prophesying, when the priest, the high priest and his sons had their heads covered when they bestowed a blessing upon the children of Israel? These are things that we have to think about before, you know, when people make comments and they say certain things, there's really a lack of understanding. If I'm making myself clear, just let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a, you hear me, a heart, something. If you're understanding what I'm saying, if what I'm saying makes sense. So let's just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Right. I seen that 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 30, which reads, and David went up by the extent of the Mount of Olives and wept as he went up. And he had his head covered and went barefoot. And all the people with him covered every man his head, and they went up weeping as they went up. So these are the things that we have to think about. Head covering is not a disrespect. Now, whether you come up there and you have your head covered or not while you're reading this, is no law against it and no law for it. But you can't say that we dishonor our head when we got our head covered like it's a curse. That's not a curse. Or as if we are cursed. We're not cursed. We're putting on a culture and something that coincides with us. That's part of our tradition. That's part of our culture. There's no curse in that. Don't give me something that comes in a new book and then try to make that Torah. That's not Torah. Corinthians is not Torah. Show me in the Torah where it says, thou shalt not cover your head when you are praying or when you're prophesying. And then I'll stop. But Torah is not going to say that. Torah is not going to say that. You're not going to find that in Torah. So these are things that we have to keep in mind. These are the things that we have to come with understanding of. You know what I'm saying? So now you know the precepts when they come on the chat that you could combat them with. nowhere in Torah does it say Corinthians is certainly not Torah, and we live by the Torah. Torah is what governs us, not the book of Corinthians. Not the book of Corinthians. I'm sorry. So these are the things that we have to, if we have any messianics on right now, please understand what I'm trying to say. Don't get upset, but understand what I'm trying to say. Torah does not tell us that we can't have our heads covered when we're praying or when we're speaking in the name of the Most High God. So let's stop with that, because that's not Torah. That is something that you've been taught and been made, and you've been made to frown upon it because it's the way that you were brought up. But it's actually not Torah. And Torah is what governs us. Whether you are messianic, you got to understand that Torah is what governs you. Torah is what you have to live by, even if you're a messianic. Not by the word of Paul. Because Paul is the same one that told you that if you're circumcised, Christ should profit you nothing. And Paul said, whether you be circumcised or not circumcised, it doesn't matter. But God tells us in Genesis chapter 17 that every male shall be circumcised on the 8th day. So we don't follow the laws of Paul, we follow the laws of Yah. That's plain as day. We do not follow the laws of Paul, we follow the laws of Yah. I hope I'm making myself clear. So I'm hoping that you got something out of what I brought forth today. Hoping and praying that Yah bless each and every one of you. I thank the creator of heaven and earth for my life, the life of all of you that are out there. I pray for all of you that are out there, and I hope that Yah will strengthen y'all. I hope that Yah will uplift your spirits and cause y'all to walk in a righteous path, and to allow you to be granted the blessings of heaven that you have desired. Hoping and praying that you continue. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. If you're new on Facebook Live, just put the notifications on. Ask to be my friend, so forth and so on. But if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Don't forget to donate to us. You know, always wait till Shabbat is over, because without what y'all help us with, we wouldn't be able to function. So definitely a blessing when you guys come on and help us out. But yeah, thanking the creator for all of your lives. I don't know if I should take questions. Maybe I should take questions. Let me open up the lines. 347-622-9090. 347-622-9090. Let me go get the phone. Give me a second here. All right. We'll give you all a couple of minutes and nobody comes on. 347-622-9090 for anyone online that would like to contribute. So I got a text right here from, and also on WhatsApp, that's the number that you could reach me, 347-622-9090. If you in another country and you want to link up with me on WhatsApp, you could send me a message from WhatsApp, 347-622-9090, or you could even call me from WhatsApp, right? That's the number. You could call me on WhatsApp. That same number, 347-622-9090. 347-622-9090. Someone, Moradina said, I'd like to contribute my mother's contribution to the educational programs for Israelite community, the people involved in their contributions. So this is what she's going to contribute for Black History Month. Like I said, people that we might not know about, right? So this is going to be her contribution. Now, I want to get your Ima's name right. I believe is Ima Hadat. I don't know if it's Ima Hadassah. I'm not sure which. I think that was her name. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she did start the educational program, as Gaveret Basheba spoke about in the video, the interview that I did with her. So that's great. 347-622-9090. You could reach me there on WhatsApp also. You could contact me on WhatsApp through there. Anybody that's abroad. 347-622-9090. All right. So everybody's cool tonight. Thanking the creator of heaven and earth. I gave you all enough time. So Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Let me see. Somebody just text me something. All right, Miriam Bat Yehuda, Eshet Korn Levy. Okay. That was, believe me or not, that was the first name I thought, but I don't go that far back, Moradina. So Miriam Bat Yehuda, Eshet Korn Levy. All right, so there we have it. That's the first person that volunteered to contribute something. Moradina. So I gotta go capture her story. I hope you got pictures and stuff for me. If you got pictures and stuff for me, that'll make it easy also. All right, so okay, so blessed be the Most High God. Thank you, the Most High, for all of your lives. Thank you, the Most High, for food, clothing, and shelter. Thank you, Yehovah, for all of you out there. May Yah continue to be with you and bless you. Someone just asked if I have a Hebrew language book. No, I haven't written any Hebrew language books, but what you could do is go online and just find beginner's Hebrew, biblical Hebrew, and you can find that. Got it, even back to Guyana. Okay, that's great. I appreciate that. So shalom, shalom, everyone. Hope to see you once again. When we start back in the AM, may the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob be with you all. Continue to bless you and keep you, and may He abound you with glory, with blessings, even in these the lands of our captivity. Don't forget to subscribe below. Like the videos on YouTube. Like, everybody pray. Everybody that's on, just press like. May Yah bless you all. Hallelujah. Shalom, shalom.